the hell you doing, Brainiacs? Long Island Iced Tea here, ready to talk progress with you. And we are on the final week, the final home stretch, the last leg to WrestleMania weekend. It is here, practically. I could smell all the garbage in New York City and the surrounding New Jersey area. We're going to be there. Oh, you know what? We're so close this week, Brainiacs. A man called Wired, he has to travel from Los Angeles. He's already on the road. He said, I can't do it. I'm leaving early. He's going by foot, I guess. I don't know. Jumpin' Jacob J's not here either. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with the punishments that are coming down on us at WrestleMania. So that means there's no order today. That means it's a wild episode, a wild card edition of BBR. Tweet it, read it, tout it, shout it, be all about it, Brainiacs, at the Brainbusters on Facebook, Instagram Junior, and Twitter. We've got Dr. Mil Calzones, Mucho Mil Calzones, Mucho Mas Mil Calzones, Triple M on the unos and doses. Happy last week until WrestleMania, Doctor.
Wait. Triple J is not in this episode?
He's not. I think he's like took the week off to plan punishments or something. I don't know.
So there's going to be no order, so this show's not going to be as good because Triple J is not here.
He's not here. You don't have to suck up to him. He's not here, Doctor.
I've been asking for it for years.
I might have to leave. I don't know. You know what? I got to think about this.
Well, Dr. Calzones has really been tied to the hip of Triple J since January. Someone who hasn't, because he does whatever the hell he wants. Unlimited dates here today. It's Vinman.
Yes, I am here, and Brainbuster Radio seems like it's really gone off the rails the past couple of weeks in one of the wildest and most bizarre build-ups to WrestleMania of all time.
Give me what I want!
It has been. It's been bizarre. It's been weird, awkward at times, but historic. And everybody is talking about it because we got a big announcement this week about the main event. Before we talk about it, yes, he's here as well. You hear him in the background. It is Moose the Mark on the internet gimmicks. Moose, quit typing away and talk to us, man. It's WrestleMania.
Wow, it's WrestleMania. I am on the verge of my ultimate WrestleMania dream staycation. I can't wait. I've got 4 very large men coming into New York City to sample the sights, the sound, the smells, and the sports entertainment of the greatest WrestleMania weekend of all time. The anticipation is palpable. I can cut it with a knife, and I can't wait for all my brainbusters to join me here in the Big Apple.
Give me what I want!
Give me what I want! I can't wait. The staycation for Moose the Mark. We're traveling to your backyard, man. And, you complain all the time on the internet. Are you complaining about the news this week? What's causing all this? The main event of WrestleMania for the first time is going to be a women's match. The Raw Women's Champion and now the SmackDown Women's Champion competing in the same match. And of course, Becky Lynch, the man, is in there as well. The triple threat, Charlotte, Becky, Ronda. It's happening, and it's the main event, Moose.
It's all on the line, Long Island. I mean, at first I was a little, is this prestigious enough to be the main event of WrestleMania 35? But then once that second title belt got into the picture, it's like, okay, it's all on the line now. There's no turning back.
All right.
It is all on the line. This is the main event as far as I'm concerned.
Moose the Mark, you in the guise of WrestleMania hype and with everybody, with the positive vibes everywhere, you think that you can get your bullshit sarcasm past me? You think I didn't notice you knocking our new SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, winning that championship? I know. I saw you on Reddit, man. I see it. It lives when you type on the internet. It lives there forever. I saw you complaining and saying that they buried Asuka. No one buried Asuka. Charlotte owns Asuka.
Charlotte Flair!
Yeah, I don't know what subreddit you're looking at, Long Island. I think Charlotte beat Asuka in a fair and competitive match.
She damn sure did.
In front of the WWE Universe, in front of the good Lord Almighty, in front of the referee. She pinned her or tapped her clean. She tapped her clean.
Tapped her
in the middle
again.
of that ring. She is the champion as far as I'm concerned.
She is. And it raises the stakes of the main event. Sarcasm or not, we have two champions in this match. Then the thing, Vinman, now this week, do we find out that it's a match for both titles? Is only the Raw title on the line still? What happens, do you think?
I think it's got to be a winner-take-all situation. That's what I expect to have happen. How could it not?
This is amazing. This is as if, remember the fabled ladder match for the undisputed title, when Randy Orton and John Cena went at it for both championships. That happened at, I believe, just a December pay-per-view, right? That was a big time match for, the ultimate championship of all time, combining championships. But now we have a chance to see that on the grandest stage of them all for both women's titles, Vinman. The prestigious Raw Women's Championship, the vaunted SmackDown Women's Championship in the same match in the main event of WrestleMania and in New York City, no less.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. You got three of the very top superstars in the sport are going to be going at it in a triple threat match to determine who is the best. A lot of personal issues between these three, and it's all going to get solved 1 week from today, and I cannot wait to be a part of it.
And we'll be there, and we've been waiting for it for a long time, Brainiacs. It's finally happening. 35 WrestleManias, and we got women finally main eventing. And Moose the Mark, if it wasn't you on Reddit complaining, it was someone who maybe put Moose the Mark as their Reddit handle and used the 0 as an O instead. I don't know. Maybe I didn't catch it. But they were complaining that Charlotte didn't need to win this SmackDown title. What is the thought process behind one of those marks online saying that?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Wait, I don't get. We didn't need to win. The Mets didn't need to win the World Series in 1969. They did it because it was there and they had to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't win championships because you need to. You win them because they are there to be won. This is a sport.
Yeah,
it is. It's the greatest sport of them all.
Yeah, this wouldn't be the first time somebody's been putting words in the mouths of brainbusters. That's been happening a lot recently, whether they're true or not. But
podcasts like us, Vinman, we're going to have a lot of people out there trying to pose as one of us, so it comes with the territory. But Moose the Mark, what happens now? You had a fatal four-way that was supposed to happen for the number one contender to Asuka's championship, but the plans apparently changed, and Charlotte takes the title. Do you think some people believe Charlotte didn't? I still can't believe people were actually saying Charlotte didn't belong in this main event match. It should have just been Becky and Ronda. That is absolutely false, right?
Charlotte has been carrying this women's division on her back, which I'm sure is hurting her very much right now. She's been carrying this women's division on her already strained back for the last 5, 6, 7 years. What do you mean she doesn't deserve to be in this match? She is this match. She is this WrestleMania.
It's true. The women, we all know that without Charlotte Flair, there is no Evolution pay-per-view. There is no women's main event of WrestleMania. There might not even be women's titles anymore if it weren't for Charlotte Flair, as far as I'm concerned, Vinman.
Yeah, and you could debate all day whether she should or should not be in this match, but she 100% guarantee deserves to be in this match. That's the thing. There was tremendous amount of controversy at that Royal Rumble. This was the only way to make it fair, or one of the best ways to make it fair, I should say. And that's what we got going forward. People are just looking for things to complain about. That's the nature of professional wrestling today.
It's absurd though. How there is literally, I can't. If I'm clearing my head and I'm just thinking logically, and I can't find one thing to complain about in pro wrestling this week. I don't understand how anyone could. It is fantastic. We've got this main event at WrestleMania, the biggest main event of all time, 2 championships in one match, possibly on the line, and the biggest stars the sport has to offer all week long. Why would you ever think of one negative thing to say about the sport this week?
Well, that's what people like to do. They like to look at negative things. Taking this match for example, everybody's a majority of the crowd, right or wrong, is probably going to be cheering for Becky Lynch to win this title match, and if she doesn't win, people are going to be going up in arms about it.
Ooh.
But then if she does win, which is, expected in some circles, those same people are going to be saying it was too predictable and it wasn't a good match. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's really, I don't know how people live their lives like that. Just looking for something wrong.
That's not what we're doing here. It's all about hashtag POP, holding it down. The power of positivity lives here on Brainbuster Radio since day one. And we ride, the New Day inspired by Brainbuster Radio. And we're going to talk about them in a second. But I want to get into the personal issues and the personal lives of these women in the main event real quick. A man called Wired, Sultan of Social Media, not here. He's walking to New York from LA. God bless him. Hopefully he could hitch a ride or something, Moose the Mark. Hopefully he makes it in time to your crib for the staycation fiesta. But since he's not here, let's go to Dr. Mil Calzones, who isn't the Sultan of Social Media, but the doctor is, he's got this knack for getting the dirt on people. He's like a one-man TMZ down there in Mexico, and the information flows to him through, I don't know what channels. I don't ask him. He just knows things about him. So especially considering the rumors about Charlotte Flair taking intermittent trips down south of the border to hang out with a certain guy with a certain kind of chon. What's the latest on that, Dr. Calzones, and how might that affect the main event of WrestleMania?
Well, let me tell you something, Long Island. The U.S. dollar goes pretty far down here in Mexico. And after throwing a couple of bucks in there, you can get a lot of information. It's not going to be affecting the main event, but we have been seeing that, Charlotte Flair is interested in the tacos, if you know what I mean.
They're delicious. I know that, if that's what you mean. I'm getting ready to actually have some this afternoon. But what about Charlotte Flair? There's rumors that she's been a little bit more tranquilo on the road lately.
That there is some talk around here. There is some talk down here about that, but maybe because she's tranquilo, that is the reason why she's main eventing WrestleMania, why she's winning the SmackDown Women's Champion. Maybe it's just a change of attitude that she needed.
It's really great. She's evolving, Charlotte Flair, in her personal life and on screen, just exudes superstardom. But then you also have to look at the lives of the other women in the match. The Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Triple J has a hard time remembering this individual's name, but his name is Travis Brown. He's the husband of the Raw Women's Champion, Vinman. This guy has gotten involved sitting front row. I assume he'll be banned from ringside. Do you think he should be?
Ringside, that's a kind of a vague term there. You mean, like, is he allowed to buy a ticket and sit ringside? Or
no, I think he should be banned from sitting anywhere within the vicinity of the ring or even in the building. He should be just handcuffed to the back, as far as I'm concerned, seeing what he's done to security guards.
Well, yeah, I think there's some... there's something to be concerned about there, but I don't think it's that big of an issue. I really don't. I'm not worried to, if it happens again, certainly. But and maybe there is too big of a risk, but we haven't seen him really, put his hands on any competitors. It's really just security he's got issues with.
Now, there's been rumors also about a certain WWE potential power couple traveling to house shows together, even when they're not booked on the same show. Dr. Calzones, is there any truth to the rumor? I don't know. Is anything flowing through the orphanage? Is anyone giving you any info on who Becky Lynch might be dating? Because some people are saying that she has been kind of hanging around Seth Rollins a little bit more than people would expect.
Long on, I haven't heard that much chatter down here in Mexico. It could be because the Mexicans cannot understand Becky Lynch's heavy Irish accent, but I'll dig deep on it. I'll throw in a couple more Abraham Lincolns out there.
All right, you try to get us some info. Moose the Mark, what are you seeing on the internet gimmicks on Reddit or anything about Becky and Seth? I thought it was a rumor that Finn Balor and Seth Rollins were dating, but now I'm hearing it's Becky and Seth, if we're going to just get into the hot gossip.
This could be the first. You want to talk about a power couple, the original power couple. The mega powers have nothing on Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Two main eventers of WrestleMania, and in a healthy, committed relationship. I don't think we've ever seen the likes of this in WWE before. I mean, who knows what this will do to the power dynamics? I mean, how could they could stage a coup over Vince McMahon and everyone else with the unified might of their existence. I don't know. It's very interesting. I have heard similar salacious rumors. I don't know if they're true or not. I don't know.
This is horrible if true. It's the worst thing that could ever happen if this is true and these two win championships at WrestleMania. Do you understand what might happen? The last time we had in WWE a male champion and a women's champion dating, they became Triple H and Stephanie. The McMahon Helmsley era, this is how it got started. Moose the Mark.
They already won the Rumble the same year together.
They did. And now if they win the championships, the powers, the dynamic, how it could change, this is... You think it's bad with the McMahons in charge. Could you imagine, Vinman, if Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch take these championships and flex their power over everybody as a couple?
It would be disgusting. There's really no other way to describe it. I mean, just the thought of Seth Rollins having the title is just horrible. And then you add Becky Lynch to the mix. That's just I hate to think about it.
I just hope the rumor's not true, because then you go down the rabbit hole and you think about the possibilities. This could be the end of wrestling. This might be the last WrestleMania if that happens. It very well could. Let's hope it's not true. But those are two individuals who need to win. They're not champions yet. So we do have, we can rely on Charlotte. We can rely on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to maybe save WrestleMania, as far as I'm concerned. That's what they're doing, not just going for championships. But Moose the Mark, you've talked about this in the past few weeks, about how this is the WrestleMania where the quote-unquote good guys absolutely all have to win. Is that true still, or do you think maybe someone in these championship matches needs to win more than the others? Like, does Becky need to win more than Kofi needs to win? Does Seth need to win more than Becky needs to win? Who needs to win the most of these contenders?
It's not about who needs to win, Long Island. It's about who wants to win the most. That's the thing. I think Becky Lynch, she's riding high on this huge wave of popularity. She's the man. She's over. She's the new Steve Austin, blah, 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 blah. But, that once you've achieved success, it could kind of take the fire out from under you. I mean, she's been women's champion before. This is not her first rodeo. This is not to say Kofi Kingston, who struggled and scraped for 11 damn years, man, to get that top, to get to that pinnacle. I mean, it's not about who needs it. It's about who wants it. She's been to the mountaintop. She has tasted glory. Kofi Kingston has been denied it consistently throughout his storied career. I don't know. I could see Becky not pulling through. I could see her choking when push comes to shove, and she is in the main event against two extremely fierce competitors.
I mean, does Becky Lynch really want to win this match, or does she just want to beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey?
There you go.
And then post on social media about how she did it.
I don't even know if she wants to beat up Ronda. I think she just wants the attention. She might not even show up to WrestleMania. We've seen in the past Becky flake on everybody when she gets to about this point. And Stephanie McMahon's talked about that.
Yeah, I guess that could happen. I have a feeling she's going to show up, but what do I know? Well,
she should. It is a big spot for her, but who wants it the most is, I got to believe it's Charlotte Flair. I mean, she could be a double champion, and she's already a 9-time champion. She's already past the halfway point to catching her own father, Vinman. And does that count as 10 championships if she wins the Raw title as well?
That's a good point. I haven't thought about that particular scenario yet and how to count that. I guess we'll be discussing in a couple weeks on Brainbuster Radio how we're going to decide that
when she's the champion.
But that's very interesting, and I'm kind of with you. I think she wants to win the most. This is her destiny. This is what she was born to do. Was to be, winning in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, Moose the Mark talked about how the kind of you alluded to the chase being the fun part about it, right? Becky Lynch's chase for the championship that she's already held once. It never gets old chasing titles with a Flair. So that's why I'm most excited for Charlotte of all these competitors. But of the other challengers, which chase has been the most fun for you, Moose the Mark? Which one is going to be tough to watch end? Has it been the 11-year journey of Kofi Kingston? Has it been the barf-inducing Seth Rollins climb to face the Beast, or has it been Becky Lynch's emergence kind of out of nowhere as the man in WWE? Which chase has been the most exhilarating?
Yeah, I'm just not that compelled by Seth Rollins' quest to slay the Beast, Brock Lesnar. I don't know. We've seen,
it's so lame. It's not even don't call it a quest. Quests involve trolls and dwarves and dragons and there's been some fire. Okay.
Like, where's the personal animosity? Where's the Brock Lesnar, candid sit down interview where he just rags on Seth Rollins and makes fun of how his hair used to be or something? Where's the personal animosity? It's just Seth Rollins, I want to win this championship for you guys. And then Brock's just like, no, I'm keeping it. What's the pull? What's getting my eyeballs? What's getting my butt in that seat?
How are we supposed to be hyped for Seth Rollins if his opponent, the champion, probably doesn't even remember his name?
He doesn't. I mean, but if you want to get hyped for the match, the chance to see Brock Lesnar, that's all you need to know.
It is.
That part you could get excited about. I'm not excited about his opponent.
Yeah, we're talking about the journeys here, Vinman, the journeys of the contenders.
Right. Yeah, and this it's hard to get invested in this journey, given the character of Seth Rollins, and also the fact that this guy has no chance in hell of winning. He's done. There's nothing here. But Kofi Kingston, on the other hand, this is something I'm very fascinated with, because this guy, organically got the crowd behind him. This is not a manufactured push like it was with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, where they got a bunch of stand-ins to do a fake Raw hostage. This was real. The crowd getting behind this guy, and they want to see this guy in the top matches at WrestleMania, challenging for a major championship, and he's going to do it. And I'm not that I've been the biggest Kofi Kingston fan, but I'm very interested to see how this plays out.
I'm kind of, if we were taking Charlotte out of the equation between Becky, Seth, and Kofi, I'm with you, Vin, man. Kofi all the way, the 11 years. I mean, the power of positivity, the fact that the New Day is so closely tied to us here at Brainbuster Radio. I mean, we brought the power of positivity to podcasting and talking about pro wrestling. And then just, a year or two later, the New Day forms and they take that message and they spread it all to the WWE universe along with us. So I feel connected to Kofi. I have been for a long time, and I am so excited to see him kick Daniel Bryan's face off of his head.
Yeah, think about this. The first ever Jamaican superstar, came from a small island, and now, just scratched and crawled his way to the top of the mountain. And now he's finally getting that opportunity. I mean, how many times on this program have you heard Jumpin' Jacob J say, this guy, he's going to be a Hall of Famer just by sticking with the company and doing a high spot in the Royal Rumble every year? That's something Jumpin' Jacob J has been preaching for a long time. And now Kofi's proven everybody wrong. He does have what it takes, and he can get to the top there. And he's done it despite all odds. And he's there, and he's ready to go.
Kofi and the New Day in the last 2 weeks have beaten more guy than Daniel Bryan has beaten all year. I mean, they've beaten 10 men, 20 men in just a span of 2 weeks with all these gauntlet matches. Doctor, what are the odds you think of Kofi and the New Day having an entrance where it's like Cool Runnings and they come out in a Jamaican bobsled?
I hope it's very likely, because especially since that ramp's going to be extremely long.
Who do you think is going to play the part of John Candy in that that entrance?
Yeah, I mean, you would think Paul Heyman would fit into that, but he's not going.
Maybe like a Big Show or something. What's Big Show doing?
Well, last I saw the Big Show, he was taking a shit in prison on the show Happy on Sci-Fi, which is a great television program. Doctor, so let's go to you now with the journeys of these contenders. What do you think of El Hombre, Becky Lynch? Is her journey? it's kind of a whirlwind, right? She's a tornado of hype and everybody getting behind her. But Kofi's is the long journey, the 11 years. And then you've got Seth Rollins, which I think we all can agree is just totally bogus. But between Becky and Kofi, which one do you find more interesting? Which one's bigger? Which one is the one that needs to come to an epic climax at WrestleMania?
Well, the Becky Lynch one just came out of nowhere. It just started. But I'm going to have to go with Kofi Kingston. The journey's been so long. He's worked so hard. He's pretty much done everything that the company wants. And it's just time. I'm just excited to see if this is Kofi Mania.
You know what I'm most excited about Kofi beating Daniel Bryan is the fact that the New Day celebration winning the WWE title it's going to be epic. Mustamar, can you imagine what the New Day would have in store celebrating what kind of new cereals or breakfast foods they might introduce to the WWE universe if they win that hemp belt from D-Bry?
Yeah, I could see them switching from pancakes to maybe bacon. We're bringing home the bacon. We're making sausage. I don't think they're going to leave the breakfast realm, but I think the WWE Championship could finally let them put some meat on the menu.
Do you have breakfast in your mouth as you were saying that, Mustamar?
Yeah, a bagel. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's perfectly fitting. It's all about breakfast on Brainbuster Radio because we're rooting for the New Day. I think is that a consensus? Jumpin' Jacob J, I don't think he is, Vinman. I think Triple J is in D-Bry's corner. We'll find out next week when we make predictions. But I will say this, Vinman. I'll be sad to see that naturally fallen oak belt go away when D-Bry loses.
Well, maybe he's going to keep it. We don't know.
You think Kofi would keep that belt?
We talk about the great balance of WrestleMania, and maybe say Kofi does win this. Something may balance it out, and maybe that's what it's going to be.
Well, the journeys of the competitors in these championship matches have been fascinating. I'd say Becky and Kofi kind of parallel each other. Seth Rollins will tell you his is like theirs, but we all know he's really the bad guy there. And I'll tell you this, when Seth Rollins gets his fucking ass kicked and F5'd and beaten in just a few seconds, no thoughts and prayers from me whatsoever, Vinman.
No, none for me either. And I can't wait to see the look on all these Mark's faces at WrestleMania when their so-called hero gets absolutely destroyed and buried at the hands of Brock Lesnar.
Do you think Seth Rollins is anyone's hero? I don't see many people rooting for him at WrestleMania.
Mustamar, you might be better to speak about this than
I'm going to go.
Like
my first question when I go around the parking lot at MetLife Stadium is going to be, who are you rooting for in that match? Because I want to know if there are actually Seth Rollins fans, Mustamar.
I mean, are there Seth Rollins fans? Is he over? Or is the chant "Burn It Down" over? That's you gotta ask.
That's a very good.
And is it? Do they want Seth Rollins to win, or is it just that they want Brock Lesnar to lose as well?
That's another good point. And I mean, we'll probably get into this in our predictions this upcoming week. But you sit back and watch, and it's like. Yeah, some people may want Brock Lesnar to lose, but is this really the guy to do it? I don't think so.
No! Yes! No! Yes! No!
We'll find out. We'll find out what the people think, because we're going to go around that goddamn parking lot and talk to you, Brainiacs. If you're at MetLife Stadium, you look out for Brainbuster Radio. We'll be walking around. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be eating. We're going to be hooting and hollering, high-fiving, 2 sweeting, 1 sweeten. I might even go up and give someone a noogie. I might be dishing out noogies. I might be taking people to Pity City, Vin, man. I'm going to be getting filthy, nasty in the parking lot.
The Meadowlands is going to be renamed Nastyville for those hours leading up.
I'm getting nasty. Nasty sensations at MetLife Stadium in the parking lot, Brainiacs. We'll see you bright and early WrestleMania morning, but it is a whole week of amazing events and matches and I mean, it's hard to pick the one thing that makes it feel like it's WrestleMania week. And we're not just talking WWE now. As we switch gears here, Moose the Mark, Vinman, Dr. Calzones, and myself, we're going to now, I think, as an exercise, go through everything as much as we can going on WrestleMania week to really pinpoint what makes this week feel like the biggest week in our sport, because there's so much going on that you could call it multiple matches you could say is the craziest and best match ever booked. There's multiple things going on that just are worthy of this kind of stage, and not just happening at MetLife Stadium, happening all over. So I want to go off the top of your head around the table here, Brainbusters. What is the match or the thing you're looking forward to the most, the thing that screams to you, this is WrestleMania? Start with Vinman.
This is WrestleMania. I think it's got to be, Triple H putting his career on the line against Batista, who this will be his last match. I mean, that right there is what WrestleMania is all about. Two titans of the sport laying it all on the line on the grandest stage. That's what it's all about.
I've been asking for it for years.
I will agree with you, Vinman, that is definitely one thing it's hard to get by the fact that Triple H's career is on the line. I've been personally waiting for his career to end for years. I want, probably more than anything at WrestleMania or any other event this weekend, I want nothing more to happen than Triple H's career to end. That's the number one thing I want to happen. Really? And I want Triple H's career to end, and I want Batista
more
to
than
win.
Seth Rollins losing.
I'm thinking it's because of Triple H, we have Seth Rollins, so maybe in order to we got to cut the head off in order to kill Seth Rollins, we got to take Triple H out first. So I'm riding hard on Batista. I'm still debating though, because I do want Seth Rollins to lose, but also I want Roman Reigns to he's beaten leukemia, but I'm not so sure he could beat the Scottish psychopath. And really, nothing tells me it's WrestleMania more than Roman Reigns is competing at WrestleMania, and he's facing Drew McIntyre. So to me, that match it's got the most on the line there, because you're talking about a guy has he had a singles match yet, Boost the Mark, since beating leukemia? Roman Reigns? No.
I don't think so. He was just part of that huge Shield reunion and a couple of tag matches. I don't think he's been in a one-on-one competition.
We've got the greatest competitor in WrestleMania history returning to WrestleMania less than a year after battling through leukemia. I mean, this is just the most unprecedented, hard-hitting, personal, emotional story going on in pro wrestling, and maybe ever, when you talk about this guy bared his soul to the world and the universe on a Monday Night Raw in October, and now we're here in April, and Roman Reigns is back in a one-on-one contest on the same stage where he retired The Undertaker. That tells me it's WrestleMania, Moose the Mark.
It's here. It is
big dog.
It's just one of those magical moments where the stars just align and everything just falls into place to make WrestleMania just seem bigger than it is. We're here. We're in New York City, the birthplace of WrestleMania. We're gonna have Mr. WrestleMania Jr. You got Roman Reigns.
You got Mr. No, I'm gonna call him the King of WrestleMania. If Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania, Roman Reigns is the King of WrestleMania. He's the big dog. It's his yard, and it's only fitting that the Doctor, thank you, Doctor, would play the WrestleMania theme song while we talk about the King of WrestleMania. Thank you. What about you, Moose the Mark? What's telling you that this week is WrestleMania week?
I mean, so if we're not talking strictly about WrestleMania, then obviously the match I'm most looking forward to this weekend, and it pains me that I'm not going to be there, is to see the Rock and Roll Express take on LAX at Joey Janela's Spring Break 3 Part 2, the greatest cluster F. I mean, you want to talk about a generational, just epic between two of the greatest tag teams of their respective eras. I can't wait to see Hernandez and Ricky Morton just
time out. It's the OG LAX versus the Rock and Roll Express.
That I'm not sure about. Hold on, I will have to look that up.
Oh, because you said LAX, and when you say LAX, I think the new LAX, they're great, and they've got Conan in their corner, Vinman. Which, I mean, can you? I know, Vinman, we're not going to be at Joey Janela's Spring Break 3. I mean, we could still try. It is at midnight. There's plenty of time to try to sneak in the building, but I mean, the whole crowd is going to be there chanting "Rock and Roll, rock and roll. That is there anything more WrestleMania than chanting rock and roll?
Well, yeah, I'd probably say that. I mean, but is there anything more wrestling than chanting rock and roll? Probably not. But that's a if it's the OG LAX versus the Rock and Roll Express, that's two of the greatest tag teams of their respective generations going at it. That's a true dream match. That's fantasy warfare right there.
It is. It'd be like if the Moondogs took on the Smoking Guns.
All right, I was a little right. It'll be Santana and Ortiz.
All right, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, never mind then.
What?
I want Homicide and Hernandez.
Oh, I like Ortiz. I like Ortiz and Santana. But okay, Moose the Mark. Then you got anything else? Then maybe telling you it's WrestleMania week. Maybe making you say, "Oh, yep, must be WrestleMania week."
Oh man, must be WrestleMania week. Well, obviously, Masato Tanaka versus L.A. Park.
Yes,
you want to talk about a dream match?
La Parka Vinman is taking on Masato Tanaka in a one-on-one contest. Where's this happening? I think this is that match happening at spring break?
I think that it might be another GCW thing. It might be like Orange Cassidy's show, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, Joey Ryan's Penis Party. There's a lot of wacky shows this weekend.
That's what tells you it's WrestleMania is all the other shows going on during the week that are putting together these matches you've never. I mean, I heard that Scott Steiner's taking on Hornswoggle somewhere.
That is true. Well, he's taking on Swoggle.
Oh, okay, Swoggle. I mean, Vinman, you've got those matches. Frank Mir is going to take on Dan Severn at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's you think about listing your top 5 matches. It's hard enough to do, if you just look at the WrestleMania card. But then when you take into account the whole weekend, I mean, my goodness, it is tough to list your top 5 matches, and I will probably do that in preparation for next week. And this Frank Mir Dan Severn matches, there's a good chance it'll be on there.
I mean, of course, there's different categories and different rating systems and different things you're looking for and grading or whatever. But ultimately, what do you think the match everyone or the most wrestling fans are, and we're talking only wrestling fans, and then we'll go to the beyond, the entire universe, but wrestling fans, Vinman, what match do you think they're going to be talking about the most of any match going on in the New York, New Jersey area?
After it's over or leading up to it?
When it's all over, it's all said and done, the match that everybody's reacting to and talking about, because if you're asking me, that match is AJ Styles versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's on my list. But I think it's going to be this tag team match between Sabu and RVD against
the Lucha
Sabre
Bros
Jr. and that other man.
Oh, they're in another match against people.
No,
I thought they're taking on the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, the Lucha Bros.
Yeah,
is it what Sabre Jr. and the other guy?
Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. is a British wrestler. You're thinking of Pentagon Jr.
Pentagon Jr. And who's the other man?
Son of a
Yeah, Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix are the Lucha Bros.
Phoenix, yes, those two. I think that's going to be the match everybody's talking about.
That's, I think for the wrong reasons with Sabu in that match. I don't think it's going to get any better for a wrestling fan than AJ and Randy Orton. I'm like that guy Moose the Mark right now with the table, and I'm going to put that sign out in front of me. AJ versus Randy Orton's going to be the best thing. Best match WrestleMania week. Change my mind.
I don't know, Long Island. I mean, that's a pretty tall order. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I want to change your mind.
It's just got 5-star WrestleMania classic written all over it. AJ versus Randy Orton. A lot of people. It's a good match when a lot of people are having trouble picking who they're going to root for. Let alone pick who's going to win it.
Who's the mark? How many minutes do you think that match is going to go?
I mean, if there's any justice in the world, I could see them getting a cool 35, maybe 40. Obviously, maybe they can make a quick judgment call once the crowds just won't let that match end. I could see them going Broadway.
Okay.
That would be amazing. Just like Jay Lethal and Matt Taven did at Ring of Honor 17th anniversary. And don't forget, I mean, the honor and prestige that we're going to get to have, we do have the first ever non-WWE show happening at Madison Square Garden in what, Moose the Mark, 60 years or so? I mean, crazy amount of time since it's been another promotion doing a show there. And we've got New Japan and Ring of Honor teaming up to put on the G1 Supercard. And now we get the honor and privilege of seeing the IWGP Heavyweight Championship defended in a one-on-one match between Jay White, the Knife Pervert, the champion, and Kazuchika Okada. I mean, obviously, if anything, in terms of in-ring work and a match could compete with Orton and AJ, it's the Rainmaker and the Knife Pervert.
Wow.
You disagree?
I don't know, Long Island. I mean, this is one of those matches where, I kind of forgot what we were talking about, to be honest with you. It just hasn't made that big of an impact.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because that we have a Knife Pervert as our IWGP champion? Do you think that you've dismissed the championship belt because such a unsavory character is holding that belt right now, doing God knows what with peepees and knives?
All right, so fill me in. This is what we've been talking about for weeks. I need you to get me hype. Let's go. Let's tell me about this Jay White guy. What does he do? Why is he a Knife Pervert? What makes him that? Is it like in 7 with that, that one guy who has to put on the thing with the knives and do things? Like, what? Give me the sell.
He's a Knife Pervert. He's a weirdo. He's holding up the most prestigious title in the world right now. He is a guy who has put out videos of him carving shit with knives and putting it on skin and I mean he's a weirdo. He's a flat out weirdo, and you're a weirdo if Don Callis is calling you a fucking weirdo, and he's a weirdo, and he's stabbing the belt. This belt, that Antonio Inoki and Brock Lesnar and Bob Sapp and Kazuchika Okada worked so damn hard to make as prestigious it is, and now it's being ruined by this Knife Pervert, and now we get the greatest of all IWGP champions ever trying to get his belt back in Madison Square Garden. Also, you're Moose the Mark. Take the Knife Pervert out of the equation. Fuck that guy. He's the champion. The fact is, we're going to get to see possibly the greatest wrestler in the world today, the greatest wrestler ever to come from Japan, the greatest IWGP champion of all time, compete for that very belt in the world's most famous arena. What more could you ask for?
I don't know, Long Island. I mean, I've been looking at the card. I'm very excited for a lot of things. I mean,
it's going to rain down Kazuchika Okada dollars all over you.
Wow. Really? You think Madison Square Garden is like equipped for that?
Well, I mean, we haven't seen it in many years because the Rangers and Knicks play there, but yes, they can do it. They're going to rain confetti and Kazuchika Okada dollars all over the crowd when he wins the title.
Also extremely excited. I understand there's to be a battle royal. I understand that one Jushin Thunder Liger will be participating. We're going to check a lot of things off our bucket lists here.
Yeah, Brainiacs, if you're... I understand a lot of you aren't like Long Island Iced Tea. Even the Brainbusters, Moose the Mark, Vinman, Dr. Calzones, you guys haven't seen anyone compete for the IWGP Heavyweight Title in person. You haven't seen Tanahashi live and in color where you could smell the shampoo emanating from his beautiful hair. You guys have not seen Bully Ray in a street fight against an unknown opponent like I have. I've been to Wars of Worlds and I've been to Global Wars, but you haven't. And now is your chance. Now is your chance to see Okada, the Rainmaker. Now is your chance to see Tanahashi and Jushin Thunder Liger. Now is your chance to see Los Ingobernables de Japón. Doctor, you're only used to seeing Los Ingobernables. What about the ones from Japan? They're even more ungovernable.
Yeah, I still haven't been able to see all of them. I've seen parts of them. I've seen Naito. I haven't had a chance to. I've seen Sonata, I don't think I've seen a chance to see Evil. I think or Desperado. Yeah, so I haven't even got to experience a lot of that stuff that you guys will get to experience that day.
I will say that
G1 Climax.
we went to that New Japan show at that minor league ballpark, and I don't remember a whole lot of the people that were there, but I do remember seeing Goto and coming away very impressed. And I believe I have seen Jushin Liger at a Nitro. Climax. So I do think I have that up on some other people.
But have you seen Jushin Thunder Liger compete against 20 plus other men in a battle royal in what might be his very last match in America?
I do not, and I have not seen that, and I'm very interested to see it. I'm excited for this card. There's no doubt about it. You're talking about Okada, who I'm a huge fan of, and how he's the greatest Japanese star of all time. I'm not sure if that's true. Antonio Inoki may have been better, but we will find out. I think on next week at this huge Ring of Honor show at the Madison Square Garden. I just wish that he was going up against a better opponent. This Jay White does not interest me one bit.
I mean, a lot of people in America, either because, I mean, in the States, we frown upon, putting knives anywhere near someone's anus or pee-pee, and this guy turns a lot of us off, but also people just haven't heard of him. And he's holding this title up, and we're going to finally have a champ we could be proud of. But then, of course, you got the other dream matches, Mustamark, and all of this, the card itself, elevating the entire week, WrestleMania week, to new heights. I mean, WrestleMania, it is the biggest event in the world, but it can only be as grand and as so big on that Sunday. When you have the G1 Supercard now in Madison Square Garden, this just feels bigger than any week wrestling's ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, this puts previous, with the last time WrestleMania was in New York, it wasn't really like the WrestleMania, all the indies converge and start doing shows in the vicinity too. That hadn't really started yet. I feel like that really started with WrestleMania 30. And now we're back in the Big Apple. The entire wrestling world is converging and everyone's bringing their A game, baby, because this,
That's absolutely right. And, I may want to switch gears a little bit. You asked about the match that everybody's going to be talking about, and I can't believe I forgot about this one. And I think it's going to be at NXT, to be honest.
Yes.
The Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle, I think, are just going to tear the house down.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the NXT UK Championship between Walter and Pete Dunne, and apparently the Doctor thought that's what you were going to say as well. The Doctor and I have been talking about Peter Dunne versus Walter since before Walter was even in NXT UK.
Yeah, that match, it's going to be a big one. No doubt about it. But I'm telling you, Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, that is going to be, that is the match that should be main eventing the entire big show.
I'd say that's the match featuring the most. No match has more charisma in the squared circle at the same time than that match, I'll say.
Long Island, you've been talking for years about how, certain matches are going to eventually main event WrestleMania and certain guys. I'm telling you, these two right here are eventually going to main event WrestleMania.
I would love to see. I mean, how cool would that be one day? Do you think we'll ever get that, Moose the Mark, one day at a WrestleMania main event? They're going to harken back to the time the same two guys main evented an NXT WrestleMania weekend, and how now look how far they've come. They're on this stage.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. They always do that. It's whether it's Daniel Bryan and John Cena like opening their match with the same sequence from their Sunday Night Heat or wherever Velocity match they had, to AJ and Kurt starting off with a headbutt exchange, or Kurt and Samoa Joe. I'm sorry, WWE loves referencing stuff like that. I think they can easily do that.
Well, I think this is a match we'll be calling back to, Vin, man. Yeah, the Velveteen Dream, who was, I don't know if you saw on NXT this week, he was rolled out on a purple couch by some beautiful women during Matt Riddle's match. So he could observe it from the ramp in luxury. And then he was drinking from a chalice. And after Matt Riddle won his match, Velveteen Dream announced him as the winner. And then Matt Riddle stole the chalice from Velveteen Dream, took a swig, and said, "I'll see you at TakeOver, bro."
Yeah, that's how you hype up a match.
It is really exciting. A lot of charisma in that one. But back to Peter Dunne and Walter. I mean, this is the NXT UK this week had a whole package just on how hard Walter chops people. This is maybe the most violent wrestler going today versus the longest reigning champion. And also, by the way, Doctor, did you know that Walter listens to the B Show?
I am in shock. Really, he listens to the B Show.
He does. He's an avid listener, and he was calling Peter Dunne Peter during their promo on NXT UK, which no one has done except you guys. So there you go. He's a big fan of your B Show with a man called Wired. But Walter coming in like a modern day Stan Hansen, Vinman, taking on Peter Dunne. If you haven't watched NXT UK, let me just tell you, it is possibly the best wrestling show on television, and this match is possibly going to be the most exciting championship match WrestleMania week in any promotion, because I mean 600 plus days this guy's been the champion, Vin, man. That's a long ass time.
It is a long ass time, and rightfully so. You know, he's taken on all comers, but he's going to have his hands full this week.
I mean, Peter Dunne is a great champion, but I don't know if he's going to main event WrestleMania one day. I am like 90% sure Walter will main event WrestleMania one day as well. I think you're seeing at least on this card alone, there are at least 3 or 4 guys who will main event WrestleMania that are on the NXT TakeOver show. Don't forget, we've got Adam Cole, baby, going for the title against Johnny Gargano. I mean, Adam Cole is probably the best ringleader in sports right now of any group.
The Undisputed Era is the Undisputed Era, they've had, their share of roster, I don't want to say changes, but additions, substitutions, injuries. But the unifying factor is and always will be Adam Cole, baby.
I mean, and they've shown great fluidity as a group, great cohesion, and now a chance at this title for the first time on this stage is you got to believe they're going to cash in. We'll make the prediction, but Adam Cole, obvious main eventer, one of the greatest guests in Parts Unknown history with Anthony Bourdain. Mustamark, I don't know if you've seen that episode with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Adam Cole, baby.
I missed that one.
It's a very good one. I ate at that place actually last week. Triple J and I went there just so we could say we've eaten somewhere that Adam Cole has been. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. This is just NXT TakeOver is just literally riddled with superstardom. That's a great pun, and I'm not going to apologize for it. You've got Triple H's career on the line. You've got Brock Lesnar in action live. You've got an 11-year journey coming to a close. You've got women main eventing WrestleMania. You've got Bubba Ray Dudley against someone unknown. I mean, you got Minoru Suzuki versus Josh Barnett. You've got a 4-way tag match and PCO's return to Madison Square Garden, Vinman, which we didn't even talk about. If Destro shows up, who knows if we'll all make it out of MSG. I mean, so much telling us it's WrestleMania week. It's the most loaded WrestleMania week, I'd say, of all time.
Yeah, maybe if you look at big time matches across, several different promotions and shows, you could make the argument for that. It is going to be, a hell of a time in the New York area. I mean, if you could, just being able to hit all those shows, I mean, it's got to take a toll on you.
Oh yeah, you're Brainiacs. Don't you be coming to WrestleMania Sunday morning in the parking lot exhausted and tired from all the action the days before. You need to be ready. Get your coffee gimmicks in. Get your energy drinks, whatever you prefer, because when you get to that parking lot, it's on. Like a big pot of neck bones, sucker. Harlem Heat's going in the Hall of Fame, and I'm taking people to Pity City. I'm getting nasty, and there's no stopping. WrestleMania week, Mustamark. It might be a staycation for you, but there is no relaxing WrestleMania week.
We are all. I'm already about a 9 WrestleMania week. I'm going to be at about a 12 to 15. The intensity is just going to keep on escalating as the Brainbusters swarm in. We settle down in MSG. We watch the Hall of Fame, NXT, and finally get ready for the biggest event all of entertainment. I can't wait, fellas.
You better amp up. Not only a 9 right now. My energy, my passion, and fire is at Bugenhagen levels right now. I'm like at a 69, Moose the Mark. You better catch up, brother, because I am ready. I'm ready to rock when we get to New York City. You just reminded me, though, the Hall of Fame gimmick. We got to put together, Vinman, a little drinking game. The Hall of Fame drinking game's got to be assembled here.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame, I feel like this year hasn't been talked about as much as past years, but there are some outstanding talent that is long overdue going into that Hall of Fame. And you mentioned Harlem Heat. These two gentlemen, this is one of the all-time great tag teams, finally getting their moment in the sun in the WWF, and I cannot wait to see it.
Brainiacs, WrestleMania week, just a week away. Let us know what youth is screaming to you and telling you, oh shit, this is WrestleMania time. Tweet it, read it, tout it, shout it, be all about it at the Brainbusters on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Instagram Junior. Triple J's got punishments to hand down. He'll be revealing those on social media apparently throughout the week. I don't know. We're going to have to speculate on what the hell's going on there and talk about some of the other news of the week real quick in Brainbuster Radio headlines. This week on Brainbuster Radio headlines, Roman Reigns is featured on ESPN Deportes, and Triple J is a no-show to Brainbuster Radio. But why? Brainbuster Radio headlines this week brought to you by Marburger Air. Marburger Air, the only way to travel for dirt cheap to your favorite wrestling towns. Right now, featured on MarburgerAir.com, a 2-for-1 deal. Buy a WrestleMania round trip, get next year's WrestleMania round trip for free on Marburger Air. They won't leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere saying, wow. All right, Moose the Mark, let's get into Roman Reigns, the big dog, the king of WrestleMania. On ESPN Deportes, was asked about Conor McGregor, and he said, quote, "We got the best spot on 205 Live. He's a cruiserweight, no doubt, and we'll let him go in there and flip with all those guys." Your reaction to the big dog's comments on Conor McGregor, MMA superstar?
Well, I mean, first off, Conor McGregor is he's in a world of shit right now with the allegations that have been levied against him and long ago and finally made public. But I think the bigger story here is, how would you feel if you were a Drew Gulak or a Buddy Murphy or an Akira Tozawa and you heard Roman Reigns, the beloved, the locker room leader,
big dog,
insinuating that your turf is a place where alleged sexual assaulters and just general dicks should perform. I don't like people insulting 205 Live. You're all in the same company. Why is that an insult? I don't feel like it's an insult. I think he was saying we'd welcome him.
Talking about the guy's weight. That's all he was talking about.
What do you? I feel like he was insinuating that he's like a little shrimpy man who can't hang with the big boys.
Well, he is a little shrimpy man that can't hang with the big boys.
I mean, I think he was just saying we'd welcome him. We've got a great division for him to compete in. I don't know where you're getting that from, Moose the Mark. What lines are you reading between?
Yeah, he's from a place that has weight classes. So why would he be upset?
Yeah, I was thinking you were going to say something about that's a great idea, and I wonder what Conor would do against Buddy Murphy in a cruiserweight title match, because I'd love to see it. That could be the first cruiserweight title match to main event WrestleMania, Vinman.
Well, I don't. Maybe. I still wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't put it past the WWE. They're always breaking barriers. They're always doing new, exciting things. Always, giving fans what they want. And I think, if Conor McGregor gets past these legal issues and is really retired from MMA, he might have a shot, because we all know Buddy Murphy, the greatest cruiserweight of all time, will still have that belt come next year when he beats Tony Nese and all the other cruiserweights in the coming year. I mean, there's really no one he hasn't beaten. I mean, Moose Mark, they might have to end up sending Buddy Murphy to UFC to find opponents for him, because he's decimated that division.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he'd answer the call. I'm sure he'd perform swimmingly there. The man's just a beast.
Do you think Roman Reigns versus Conor McGregor is more likely than I don't know, Vinman, seeing Brock Lesnar versus John Jones in the UFC? Which is more likely?
Oh, Brock and John Jones easily.
I don't know about that anymore. I think John Jones seems to be ducking the heavyweight division, and is Brock Lesnar ever going to go back to the UFC? I mean, he's got to be having so much fun. I mean, look at the opponents they're giving. It's like they're not even making it hard on Brock at WrestleMania anymore.
Well, maybe he's going to go for a challenge, and he's going to take on, a Daniel Cormier or a John Jones, somebody that could really test his physical attributes.
Well, you got to love it. And with Conor McGregor's apparent retirement, and you see Ronda Rousey now in the women's main event of WrestleMania, the main event of WrestleMania. When MMA and wrestling cross over, it's magical. I mean, God damn it. Look, we got Josh Barnett's Bloodsport happening in New York City. Vinman, where Dan Severn and Frank Mir are going to go at it. I mean, who knows? Next year at that event, you might get to see Fedor take on Walter. I mean, anything could happen.
Give me what I want!
Moose the Mark, you still have a subscription to the Wrestling Observer newsletter?
I do, as a matter of fact, Long Island.
Did you catch in the newsletter or on Wrestling Observer Radio, more accurately, Uncle Dave talking about how Impact Wrestling is better than Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live, and it has better production values?
I mean, yeah, that's been been sort of the scuttlebutt for a while. The problem is no one's watching it. I mean, the day it says it has better ratings than Raw or SmackDown Live, that'll be news. But Impact has been good for a while.
Have you watched Impact at all in the last 4 months?
No, I don't think I've watched Impact at all in the last 14 years.
Well, you should. It is damn good, and it is often the best wrestling show of the week. Uncle Dave, I'm glad to see is saying that, but I want to get to how much influence Uncle Dave actually has. Do you think him saying that will help impact ratings whatsoever?
No, not even a little bit.
What if Uncle Dave, I feel like he qualifies it there. If he really had this influence that Uncle Dave seems to really allude to the fact that he has kind of an influence on wrestling while at the same time denying it. So he'll do things like this. He'll say Impact is the better show, which translates to Uncle Dave telling his readers and listeners to watch it. But then he qualifies it and says it's on a channel nobody gets. It's kind of like covering his own ass there. If you're going to endorse the show without knocking it.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like he endorses shows all the time. It's not like, I mean, I'm sure the Observer has like a fair amount of subscribers, but it's not like he's like a global tastemaker that could, if Dave Meltzer said, "Hey, buy this weight loss tea," I don't think you're going to get 900,000 wrestling fans, signing up for pyramid schemes or whatever.
I mean, if I could look like Dave, if I could look like Dave Meltzer,
is a pyramid scheme.
If I could look like Uncle Dave, I might take that pill. He's pretty jacked. You don't see Uncle Dave Meltzer as the Alex Jones of wrestling?
No, I don't.
He's not. Yeah, he's probably not on that far end of the spectrum. But Uncle Dave has been getting into it. I think more in his older age. But he endorsed Impact. I've been saying it for years, and I don't give a shit that it's on a channel you probably don't get. It's on Twitch. It's like any wrestling, accessible via the internet or any other means. So watch the damn show. I've been saying it for years, Moose the Mark. Hopefully people will listen to Uncle Dave and myself. It is a good show. Vinman, you should watch it. You know why? They have Conan cutting crazy fire promos every week.
Yeah. Watching Impact, something I need to do more. 10 years ago, it was the hottest show out there today. It's dropped off a little bit, for whatever reason on weird television channels. But people should give it a chance. It's still the number 2 promotion in the world.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd give that to probably New Japan right now. Well, as soon as Okada gets the title back, but it's you can argue it. I'm not going to say that. Speaking of also, earlier we were talking about couples that are champions simultaneously. Wera Loka, Taya Valkyrie, and Johnny Impact both holding championship belts simultaneously as a married couple in Impact, and obviously the show got better from them. I don't see the same thing happening with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, though. Dr. Calzones. I don't. Maybe it's because Johnny Impact and Wera Loka have that lucha fire in them that really makes them a good couple in that regard.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. The same thing. I don't. Plus, Becky and Seth Rollins still have to win.
Yeah, they're not champions
anything
yet.
Happens. Right. Yeah,
they've only won a Royal Rumble, and that's bad enough. And hopefully, it doesn't get any worse than that. Royal Rumbles are big. So are Battle Royals, and we've got 2 of them at WrestleMania announced. Superstars announced for the men's Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Vinman. Braun Strowman was the first to declare. He coerced Colin Jost and Michael Che from Weekend Update on SNL into the match, and we also now have a bunch of superstars announced, including the Gorilla Press Slam and Smiling Apollo Crews, Chon Chon, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal, No Way Jose, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, Rhino and Heath Slater, Connor and Victor, Ali, formerly Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, both Hardy Boys, Otis Dozovic, Tucker, EC3, Chad Gable, and Bobby Roode, and a bunch of other guys. You think that's a star-studded enough Battle Royal, Vinman? What are your thoughts on the SNL guys in there?
It's enough for me. But I'm not sure what these guys are going to do in this. I'm sure they got something planned. I'm still disappointed we haven't seen Keenan involved yet.
Yeah,
right. That would put it over the top.
Would have been a bigger star. Mustamark, are we supposed to boo or cheer the guys from Weekend Update? Because I'm not sure yet.
I'm pretty sure we're supposed to boo them. I mean,
well, I know I'm supposed to boo Colin Jost, but I found it hard booing him because he was fucking with people in Philly and Boston, and that was pretty cool to me.
Yeah, but I mean, he's insulting local sports teams. He's being a big shot, buying cars and stuff. He is the most booable man in this battle royal. I mean, Michael Che is supposed to be a good guy, but I don't know.
Really, you're telling me that Colin Jost is more booable than Jinder Mahal? Jinder Mahal is a deplorable human being.
Why? All he does is help people meditate and find inner peace. Why is he so evil?
Because he cheats. He's got those 2 pipsqueaks on the side. He held the WWE title forever and really screwed over the WWE universe from even a longer AJ Styles title reign. He's a bad person. What about Tyler Breeze? He's self-absorbed. Well, Colin Jost, I don't know if I'll be booing him. Michael Che, I don't know. Mil Calzones, Doctor, when you've got non-athletes, how dangerous is it for non-athletes in a match like this? Because these guys, I feel like they're going to both have broken bones.
Yeah, it could be very dangerous, especially with the big guys going in there. I mean, what happens if that Michael Che guy gets in the ring and then Braun Strowman's the next guy coming down?
It's going to be...
what is he going to do? He's unprepared. He doesn't know what to do. I don't even think he'd be able to get over the top rope. Yeah,
I don't know. That's going to be hard to watch. We also have the Women's Battle Royal announced, and that's going to feature, all the women in WWE that aren't in the triple threat. So let's get into the final part of headlines this week, and that is the fact that Triple J's not here, Moose the Mark. Why do you think he's not here, and what do you think your punishment's going to be at WrestleMania?
I mean, I think Jake isn't here because he's busy, just scheming. He's got a big cork board full of intel and photos and red threads, stitching everyone together just to devise the perfect punishment. I don't know what my punishment's going to be. I hope it doesn't involve eating fish. I really don't like fish. I don't know. I hope he doesn't make me get rid of my dog. I'm a big fan of her. I don't know. I mean, I'm just living in utter fear of what Triple J's punishment.
And that's what goes with being the Royal Rumble champion. You get to make the other Brainbusters do anything you want. Dr. Calzones, that's anything you want.
Anything that he wants?
Anything he wants. Now, Doctor, if you could give us a glimpse into what next week might sound like when Triple J gives his punishments, how might it sound like when Triple J does that as the Royal Rumble champion?
Probably it's gonna be like, Long Island. You're gonna have to talk about Seth Rollins and Moose. You're gonna have to. Can't use your keyboard all WrestleMania.
Moose, I'm gonna. I can't do it. You could do it.
And then I reckon Emil Calzones, you're a good guy. So I'll take a hug as a punishment. I mean, it's not really a punishment, but I reckon hugging is a good punishment for you. It's gonna sound something like that.
Yeah,
that's Triple
J. You sounded like a King of the Hill character. All right. Well, Triple J punishments, Brainiacs, will come on to us Brainbusters, I guess via social media at the Brainbusters throughout the weekend at WrestleMania. You will be able to witness them because we're going to put them up on our YouTube page and on BrainbusterRadio.com. So stay tuned for whatever Moose has got to do with a keyboard or whatever, hopefully not Fish or his dog. I'm ready to take down whatever punishment comes to me because that's what happens when you don't win the Royal Rumble. It's on me. I wasn't screwed over by Fit Finley either, so I'm willing to take the punishment. All right, let's close things up, Brainiacs. Before we get to the end of this final stop on the road to WrestleMania, we must spill blood all over the place. And like Dean Ambrose asked for this week, it's time for Falls Count Anywhere.
New York, you're a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the battery's down, but one thing I cannot stand is the MTA, the Metropolitan Transit Authority. You are shutting down the N line, the W line from Queensboro Plaza to Ditmars Boulevard on the weekend that the entire wrestling world is descending upon the 5 boroughs. How could you be so stupid? How could you be so short-sighted that you are going to force thousands, if not millions of wrestling fans into cramped shuttle buses, expensive Ubers, rotten rent-a-cars, all because you need to rehabilitate a station and put Wi-Fi in an above-ground platform? It's outrageous. It's unconscionable. And I know Linda McMahon is no longer with the current administration, but if she was, I hope her final act was to get the MTA to keep the subways open for WrestleMania weekend.
The bitch ass fool of the week is none other than the Andre Battle Royal Memorial WrestleFest over the top rope. Have they not learned from New Japan Pro Wrestling? When you start off with a Battle Royal, you need everybody. You need to go back there. You need to bring Harlem Heat to come out during the Rumble. You need legends. You need Cheeseburger in the Andre the Battle Memorial over the top 50 men. You need Jushin Thunder Liger in this Battle Royal. So WWE, step your game up. Bring some legends. I want to see the Iron Sheik come out and start eliminating everyone. So come on, do the right thing and get some legends.
Brainiacs, it's the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to get there and we're going to have the time of our lives, just like we do every single year. But just like every single year at WrestleMania, there are winners and there are losers. And after this week, I finally have a cool way and a just way to acknowledge all of those losers who just fall a little bit short on the grandest stage of them all. And I'd like to personally thank Paul Heyman for giving us, the WWE Universe, a new phrase to say to all those unfortunate people, superstars in WWE and everywhere else that just can't get it done. So for everybody except Seth Rollins that loses at WrestleMania, from Long Island Iced Tea to you, I'd just like to say thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Oh, you know what? I'm probably going to be saying that to everyone who gets punished by Triple J as well, Moose the Mark. Thoughts and prayers, Moose. You just ate some fish.
Ugh. I hope he wasn't listening to that. I really hate fish.
Actually, Moose the Mark, Triple J told me he had your punishment ready, and he knew what it was the moment he won the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
He said
geez.
Your punishment was the first one he had. So I don't. He wouldn't tell me. I tried to get it out of him. He wouldn't tell me. Doctor, I don't know what he has in store for you, but I'm sure it involves kisses and hugs.
Hey, all I know is that Triple J is a fantastic guy. I mean, this episode was good. It could have been better, but Triple J. We just need Triple J for everything. I'm ready for his punishment. I know it's going to be fair.
Just know, Brainbusters and Brainiacs, no matter what Triple J does to you, it's not as bad as what he's got coming to me. I have to ride in a car with him on the road to WrestleMania, Moose the Mark. That's going to be, you know how many diners and car washes I'm going to have to stop in? And instead of just driving straight to New York City, it's going to take forever.
You know how many giant balls of twine you're going to have to stop and look at?
Oh no. I have to spend so many hours in a car with a wonderful person. Woe is me. Woe is me.
Well, as long as he and I are listening to all the NXT loud takeover theme songs, I think we'll be good. We're going to be rocking and rolling. And then we're going to get nasty in New York City. Going to Pity City, baby. It's going to stink, and it's going to be a good kind of funk, Brainiacs. So don't shower. Come ready to rage. We'll see you in New York City and in the MetLife Stadium parking lot for all the Brainbuster radio festivities. Tweet it, read it, tout it, shout it. Be all about it at the Brainbusters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Instagram Junior. Anything left, Moose the Marker, Dr. Calzones?
That's it for me, Long Island.
Nope. I got nothing.
Really, Doctor? You could say anything you want.
I think, okay, let me see. Triple J's a great guy.
I've heard that enough. Let's just end the damn show. For Vinman, for Moose the Mark on the Internet Gimmicks, Dr. Bill Calzones on the Unos and Doses, the Sultan of Social Media, man called Wired, walking to New York from Los Angeles for WrestleMania. Jumpin' Jacob J, the winner of the Brainbuster Radio Royal Rumble 2019, and Long Island Iced Tea. I'm Long Island Iced Tea saying I gotta get the hell out of here and get to New York City for WrestleMania.